the unborn will always have a voice.
You are here today giving voice to the 100,000 young Canadians who don't have a voice each and every year, whose lives are terminated prematurely.
The testimonies of the women counter all the rhetoric. Abortion is not medicine, it damages women. Stop the political rhetoric and listen to the voices of women.
Oh, what a bunch of fanatics. The March for Life, Trudeau's obsession with aborting babies and what all this means for the pro-life movement. Lisa Globe joins us for Moral Maze, and she was one of the people speaking and causing all that trouble in Ottawa. You spoke very well, and I saw you also debating with a notorious abortion supporter, and you just you humiliated her. You did extremely well. Let's talk, first of all, though, about... I was joking, obviously, when I say what a bunch of fanatics. That's the view that's been pushed by so many in mainstream media for so long. If you dare to even question the self-evident truth of abortion on demand, you're not really Canadian.
And you know, the March for Life is the best way to exemplify that that is a complete falsehood. Because even mainstream media who want us to look like fanatics, they go and they try to find people on the Hill who will emulate that type of point of view, and they can't find anyone.
I could think of a few, but they're not many. Well,
there was CBC Radio did an hour-long program on sending Catholic students to the March for Life, and one of my youth committee members, Christina Alaimo, was the guest, and they played in radio interviews of students that were on the Hill, and they sounded amazing. Like, they knew why they were there, they were passionate for the cause, and they were willing to stick with it. Like, they were not giving up.
Good. But of course, you know, the pro-abortion protesters, they're always very moderate and attractive and charming. Let's see a clip of them now, please.
As they give witness to the God-given dignity, beauty, and value of human life. He prays that this event foster greater respect for the inviolable right to life of each person.
Your morals!
Greater respect for the inviolable right to life of each person.
There was Jim Hughes, your boss there. What was he doing? Keep your hands to yourself, Jim.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, here is the most influential, I suppose, cleric in the Roman Catholic Church in Canada, talking about Catholic morals, which are forgive third world debt, against the death penalty, against most war, unless it's completely just and justified war, preferential option for the poor. Many people watching this station might not agree with this, but the idea, this idiot woman, I have to take my top off and say, F your morals. It's one thing to debate the abortion issue. She can't debate anything. She just wants to scream and censor and close and annoy.
There was two of them, and they had this prepared for a while. When they were getting arrested, they had a spokesperson on site to take all the interviews. And poor Jeff Watson, I mean, he had his whole family there, lots of little children, and there's one picture of him shoving his son's head into his pocket.
And the boy's saying, Dad, stop it! Give me a break.
But, you know, it was interesting how much media coverage they got, because, you know, like, they were on with Evan Solomon, and Evan Solomon asked them, do you think your way is effective? And they said, well, it got me on the show, didn't it? So they know what they're doing, and this isn't the first time. It's a group called Femin, and and they do this all over the world.
Well, look, there's a certain context where they're admirable. When they protest Islamic regimes, and I've seen them do that, that takes courage, and there's a point to be made. But that's one thing. This is a group of people, I would say the majority of women, certainly a huge number, often young women, who are simply saying, our voices need to be heard. You need to listen to us. We're members of society.
I'm not sure protesting topless is ever effective, but there could be potential...
I disagree. I think some Islamic, misogynistic, fascist theocrats sometimes need to be shocked. They need to be shocked sometimes.
Well, maybe think of your wife doing that, and maybe you'll think differently, but...
You know, my wife doing all sorts of things, but I mean, that's... no, I mean, I disagree with you. I think that there is a time to shock. There is a time when you're facing people who are so notoriously dictatorial that you need to shock them to rethinking, but not in such a situation. The Catholic Church, the pro-lifers, believe in the dignity and equality of women. I mean, now, let's talk about Mr. Trudeau, because here, I don't want to put you in a difficult position here, but you're a Catholic, but the Toronto Star had an editorial that was very well written. It said, Trudeau is wrong, to say that every candidate has to be pro-abortion. This is wrong. We now have the situation where the Toronto Star is more critical of Justin Trudeau than the leaders of the Roman Catholic Church. Apart from the Bishop in Edmonton, I've heard not a word from... we have 3 cardinals, don't we, I think, in Canada? But I've heard not a word.
Well, I think that eventually, you know, if this doesn't shock them, he'll say something else idiotic, and it will. I mean, people always blame Stephen Harper for not being transparent, but I think that it would be in Justin's best interest to be transparent, because he just says stupid things all the time, and this is an example of...
You're avoiding the question. Why is it that the leadership of the Catholic Church is so reluctant? I'm not asking them to excommunicate Justin Trudeau or anything like that. Well, if they made a statement that said, in closing down the opinion of so many Canadians and so many people who voted Liberal to be Liberal candidates, we think that Justin Trudeau... Say something. They're not saying a word. It happened, what, Wednesday? Wednesday, Thursday? It's now Monday evening. Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything, but then again, I've been really wrapped up in the march. But
you're being careful.
I think that you know, they have to be careful too, and they have to send a message in a way that will reach all Catholics and not just ones that are like uber partisan, basically. I think they need to say things that will also reach out to the liberal Catholics as well, the ones that have voted Liberal their whole entire lives.
Yeah, absolutely. A mild, moderate statement.
So I think that if they do that, I think that they will do that, absolutely. And if they haven't yet, then I think that they're maybe perhaps strategizing, Michael.
Yes, I'm sure they are, and I'm sure there are all sorts of people, and you can name them as well as I can, who are saying, don't. He's a lovely boy, really.
Absolutely.
And his father was wonderful. He went to Mass, you know, we mustn't alienate people. And how far does it need to go? How far does it need to go before the leadership of the Catholic Church say, there's no point anymore. We're not going to say vote Tory, but we're going to say we can't support a party that has said you have to believe in abortion.
Well, I mean, if they say that about the Liberals, then they have to say that about the NDP. So they have to say it with both parties, but especially with regards to Justin, who's a Catholic.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.